So, if you live under a rock, then you might not be aware of the fact that former President Donald Trump recently appeared on the Joe Rogan podcast last week. The two had a 3 hour plus conversation that covered all kinds of topics. I mean, they talked about UFOs, politics, but whatever they talked about, it was a long, rambling conversation. And what I was pretty impressed by is that there were no talking points involved. President Trump does kind of ramble on, and he kind of weaves in and out of different subjects, as he himself admitted on the podcast. But this was a real, intelligible conversation where, I mean, they just went on at length about things like how beautiful and luxurious the rooms in the White House are. And President Trump talked about how President and Mrs. Lincoln were severely depressed while Lincoln was president because they lost their son Tad during childhood. He died during childhood. Now, all the stuff they talked about, I kind of already knew. So it wasn't like I learned a whole lot from them. But I did learn something valuable. And that is that President Trump was able to sit down for 3 hours and shoot the breeze about a wide variety of subjects. And it appeared to be effortless, the way it should be. You may have noticed, but I also host a podcast. It's true that I'm a little bit behind Joe Rogan when it comes to total numbers of viewers and how much money the podcast actually brings in. Just a little bit behind him. But one thing the Focus LBK show does have in common with Joe Rogan is that we have great quality of guests. Our guests are all high quality, high caliber people. Every single person that we've ever had on was real, down to earth, and had no issues talking to us for an extended period of time. And this is absolutely the way it should be. There really shouldn't be any off-limits topics. There shouldn't be any teleprompters during the conversational part of the show. Things shouldn't feel strange and awkward. It's just two people talking. Every single guest that we have had on is an expert at what they do, and the conversation was effortless and genuine. Now, I've never met Trump or Vice President Harris, so I can make no pronouncements about what kind of people they actually are. What I can say is that President Trump seemed to be completely real and at ease during that long, rambling conversation. And honestly, I just cannot, for the life of me, imagine Vice President Harris being able to pull off the same kind of cool, interesting conversation about all kinds of different subjects. She seems ill at ease in her own skin, and this, to me, translates to a weird, fake feeling vibe that I get from her. And it's not just me. Many other people say the same thing. Don't forget, back during the Democratic primaries, she was completely unlikable. She didn't get a single vote. She had to drop out before the contest even really started. So it's not just that I get a weird vibe from her, other people do. She seems to be just completely unlikable. Now, I don't want to say she's fake because I've never met her, but that is the vibe that she definitely gives off. Every time I try to watch her speak, I soon have to tune out because of the inappropriate laughter and non-answers to basic questions that she should be able to give in her sleep by now. You've been in the White House 4 years. Before that, they like to draw attention to the fact that she was a prosecutor and a district attorney and attorney general for California. All these lofty roles that she has held, and she can't seem to have a genuine, real conversation and connect with somebody without having a teleprompter or something like that. And I sincerely doubt that she could keep up an interesting, coherent conversation about a wide range of regular, everyday topics. And some people will say, well, so what? Well, here's the problem with that. She wants to be the so-called leader of the free world, but she can't even seem to draw on her own mental faculties and think on her feet and think about her own life experience long enough to hold an honest conversation with regular people. Man, I'm just a regular old dude, obviously, right? But in my lifetime, I have spoken to and briefed everybody from military generals and the heads of intelligence agencies. to prisoners, to bums on the street, wide swath of people that I've been able to talk to and connect with. And you know what? None of it was really challenging because I knew what I was talking about and I was honest and I let my true self show. As I understand it, Vice President Harris declined to go on the Joe Rogan show because he wanted a no-holds-barred open conversation, which is the way he does it. Everybody knows this. That's what podcasts are for. Well, to me, she turned that down, and to me, that's a huge red flag. If Vice President Harris can't make it talking to Joe Rogan, the host of Fear Factor, he's a freaking mixed martial artist, she can't talk to him, then how is she going to fare talking to serious, cold-blooded, hardened world leaders like Vladimir Putin of Russia or China's President Xi Jinping? You remember a few months ago, I guess it was, a few months ago, when President Putin of Russia went on Tucker Carlson, and he started the show off with a long, off the top of the dome discussion about the history of Russia and why Ukraine is important to his country. You remember that? I do. He gave a college-level dissertation on a matter of vital importance to him with ease. I dare say every world leader out there should be able to articulate the fine points of their beliefs, policies, and programs just like that. And if they can't do that, then honestly, I can't understand how they think they should be considered qualified for the position of chief executive of the United States and commander-in-chief of our military. Man, Lubbock, I don't care about your race. I don't care about your gender. I don't care about your sexual orientation or any of those kind of meaningless things. I want to know, can you sit down and have a conversation about what you think is important in a clear, interesting way with anybody who wants to speak with you? Can you do that? If so, then congratulations. That makes you a regular human being on the same level as millions of other Americans. I wonder what that makes you if you can't do that. All right, LBK. Y'all heard the music playing, so y'all know that means it is time to focus. Welcome to episode 60 of the Focused LBK Show. Today's topic of conversation, well, it is the importance of good conversation. And what we just saw on the whole Tucker Carlson or the whole Joe Rogan show, it, to me, underscores the importance of conversation. Now, there's an old saying I read somewhere. This is people judge you in certain ways. Three or four ways only. People judge you by what you say, how it, how you look, and how you act. I think I might be messing up that a little bit, but those are the four ways that people judge you. You look the part, you act the part, but you can't speak the part, or you can't speak it in the way that you should speak it. And I'm not saying that President Trump is a particularly good speaker. He's not. He rambles. I really don't like his voice. Yeah, he gets on my nerves a little bit too. But he can sit down and have a regular conversation, and that means a lot, as I was just alluding to. That means something. I tell you what, coming up later in this show, we're going to sit down and have a really good conversation with Mrs. Phyllis Gant. She's founder of Gant Man Productions, LLC. We sat down the other day and we talked about, first of all, we talked about the Breast Cancer Awareness March. That was awesome. We covered that, and we should link that down here in the show notes so y'all can peep it out if you missed it. We did some pictures. I'm still I did some video, man. I was telling her I'm looking for the video for that. I had several events that I covered that day, and I do not know what happened to the video. Anyway, we'll keep trying to find that. I hope it doesn't get overtaken by events. After a while, it's going to be kind of a moot point. But anyway, we talked about that breast cancer awareness walk. We also talked about Slaton. I'll be dang. What's that old saying? Something rotten in Denmark? Shakespearean line. Is there something rotten in Slaton? What is up? I keep on hearing crazy stuff about Slaton and racism. Well, that's what we sat down and talked about, Mrs. Phyllis Gant and I. It was a very interesting conversation. And one of the things that we touched on, for example, is how, because I came up I was born in 73. I really came up in the 80s. And I remember starting about the mid 80s to the 90s, into the 90s, it looked like in America we had racism whooped. You had comedians like Eddie Murphy and others, Chris Rock, and just cats like that were doing their part to make race not so touchy. People seemed like they were trying to move past racism. And now we look like we're back at a worse point in time than we were before we had the first black president. Some people say the first black president was part of the problem, not because he was black, but because of the things that he did and the issues that he pushed. Also notice that a lot of people say DEI is part of the problem. DEI, some people consider it to be reverse racism. As far as I can tell, it doesn't look like something I want to be associated with. I'm looking at things like merit. You know what I'm saying? Hiring people because of merit, not blaming people, as DEI to me seems to do, blaming people for their skin color. We're supposed to be past that. Martin Luther King said we're supposed to judge people by the content of their character. That's just my take on it. That's the way I feel about it. We talked about that and other issues that seem to be going on at Slaton and also, what I understand, Lubbock Cooper. Now, what I'm going to try to do in future shows, man, I'm seeking I reach out to some of the people involved at those schools and see what's their side of the story. But for now, later on, y'all see, we have a really good conversation with Mrs. Phyllis Gant and I on the subject of, like I said, breast cancer awareness and what in the world is going on in Slaton and Cooper and a couple other places too, apparently. Hope we can get to the bottom of that, man. Racism is dead. Come on now, it's old. Let it go. I don't think it's racism so much as my gut just tells me it's kids being silly. But then again, it seems like the administrators aren't doing their part. So, hey, don't miss that conversation. But for now, what we're going to do, we're going to jump right into what's going on. And what is going on, first of all, coming up at Cavill Museum on November 15th, we got the Rhythm and Rhyme open mic night. Encouraging anybody that want to come out to get on the mic and spit and make it sound tight. I'm just trying to rhyme because it says Rhythm and Rhyme. Gotta say it on time because meter is important. Yeah. It's the Rhythm and Rhyme open mic night, y'all. Cavill Museum, November 15th, 7 p.m. Join us for a night of music, art, poetry, and rhymes. There's going to be some prizes, music, art, all kind of stuff, man. Hope to have a real good time. We've been advertising this here, there, and everywhere. If you know a poet that wants to get on the mic, tell them to call 903-316-2735. That's 903-316-2735. They can call or text and let Ricky Sherfield know that you want to get on the list. Also, when you come out, man, we're going to play some games. This is all about, it's all about stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit. So I invite y'all to come on out. I think it's going to be a good event. Speaking of Ricky Sherfield and speaking of November 15th, well, next day or two after that, you got the Black Business Holiday Market. That's going to be November 17th at the Cavill Museum as well. Vendor information, booths are $35 for businesses. Food truck or food service is going to be $35. Youth is $10. Vendor registration, you can look on the flyer down here and figure out what you need to know about the 2024 Black Business Holiday Market. That's going to be November 17th, 2024 from 3 to 7 at Cavill Museum of History. You also have the 8th annual First Responders game coming up, put on by that brother, Ladit Butler. Cool brother, man, doing some good stuff, man. I think he worked over there at Dunbar at the VIP. He got something to do with that over there. I think that's the name of that program, that school over there. But this right here is the 8th annual First Responder game, The Mamba Effect. Saturday, March 8th. That's coming up in the future. March 8th, 2025. You got some time on that. That means whoever want to participate need to work on learning how to counter the Mamba Effect or defend against the Mamba Effect. Today is October 30th. So coming up on November 2nd, from 12 to 7, you got the Autumn Festival. It's free to the community. It's put on Who can I see who is put on by? Oh, Mo Productions up there in the corner. Put on by Mo Productions. The Autumn Festival is going to have live music, vendors, food trucks, pie eating contests, face painting, book reading, photo ops, s'mores with heroes, and giveaways November 2nd, 2024. Let's see what else we got. Man. I'm still going through here. Oh, check it out. East Lubbock Art House got the Haunted House Art Show and Art Party. It's going to be Thursday, October 31st, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Of course, y'all know where the East Lubbock Art House is. If you don't, it's 405 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Used to be Quirt. Talking to my wife about that the other day, how MLK used to be Quirt, which means a whip. Not a good look. Let's see what else they got here. Dia de los Muertos Celebration. That's 2 November from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Also at the East Lubbock Art House coming up. Art show, food and drinks. Loteria, arts and crafts. Yeah, that's what we got for out and about. If we find some other... No, I take that back. I can't forget. I got the hard copy little flyers right here. If you want to learn Spanish, man, go over to the Patterson Library. 5:30 on September 10th, November 12th and 19th. That's November 12th and 19th at Patterson, 5:30 to 6:30. They're going to have Spanish lessons sponsored by Corazon con Razón. They got the Plan to Do Better coming up November 23rd over there at Patterson. And it's join us with your planner and let's plan out the month. Bring your ideas and all kind of stuff. And then every Saturday from 1 to 5 at Patterson and Godeke, they have Robin's Nest tutoring. So if you need tutoring for ages K through 12 and a variety of subjects, hit up Patterson Library or Godeke Library 1 to 5 every Saturday. That's every Saturday. Hit them up. Well, LBK, that's what I have for what's going on. Don't forget, you can always hit me up. You can text me and send me your flyers or email me. You can just go down to the down here at the bottom of the page in the comments section and put on your events. Hit me up on Facebook, whatever. Just let me know. I talk about it. I tell everybody about it. I ain't going to keep it a secret. I tell everybody about your event. You know what I'm saying? I say it right on the mic, looking in the camera, because that's what we do. Try to help people understand what's going on in the LBK. Now, without further ado, let us get into this great conversation with Mrs. Phyllis Gant, talking about the breast cancer awareness walk, but also getting into what in the world is going on out there in Slaton with this racism stuff. Is it racism? Is it kids acting silly? Is it a little bit of both? I don't know. If you know something about this and you want to talk about it, hit me up again. Leave me a comment or shoot me a text at 806-642-0949. That's 806-642-0949. Let me know what you want to talk about, man. Let me know if you got other ideas for people y'all want to see on the show. You know what we try to do. We try to serve the people. Try to get them out there with that interesting conversation. That's part of the mission statement, is to elevate the conversation in the community. You know what I'm saying? So, without further ado, here we go. Sitting down with Miss Phyllis Gant. Hey, what's good, LBK? This is your brother, Robert Jenkins, in studio with a very special guest today. We have Mrs. Phyllis Gant, who is an accountant of 43 years and also the legal redress chair for the local NAACP. She is always out there in the community. I introduce her like she needs some introduction. Everybody looking at this know who she is, but, we just got to go through the formalities just in case we got some new folks out there don't know what's going on. I'm new myself, talking about like we got some new folks. But, yeah, it's a pleasure to have you in studio.
Glad to be here finally.
Indeed. I've been trying to. It's one of them things where you have an agenda in your head. Okay, I need to get this person, but you just have to wait for the events to line up.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I think the event that occasioned your first appearance on the Focus LBK show is that breast cancer awareness walk that y'all had.
Yes.
That was an awesome event. And hopefully y'all saw the pictures from that. We took some real good pictures. We still working on the video. We are a small but mighty crew here. We gotta get all the footage together. But anyway, what brought that idea to you? And why did you do that?
So this is our third annual.
Okay.
Breast Cancer Walk. And when I say us, certainly shouting out Tiffany Lilly S6 of Brittany and Devon's Angels. The two of us got together about 3 years ago. There was nothing going on in honor of breast cancer. And we both have people that we know that were either survivors or had succumbed to breast cancer. So we just got together, two companies, her company, Gant Development, which is my company, and we decided to do a breast cancer walk. That was the first year. What I've seen is every year it gets larger. This year was amazing, literally amazing, with the outpouring of vendors and the outpouring of people that wanted to donate and wanted to be involved. It was amazing.
It was amazing, and one of the things I liked about it most is when I was out there walking, it was me and the whole Jenkins clan, almost the whole Jenkins clan. I felt a very strong sense of community.
Yes.
You could feel a camaraderie floating in the air, even though it wasn't just people from East Lubbock. It was people from all over the city. And I didn't count, but it was at least 100 and something people, maybe about 2.
I think we got close to 200 this year. And I'm glad you point that out, because our objective is that we host that event at May Simmons. May Simmons is the east side, but we include the entire city. We wanted everybody to come out. You saw Texas Tech and UMC and, all of the different entities, because breast cancer has no respect of person.
No.
It affects every group of people. So it was exciting to have that and to bring that out. And then Tiffany and I both work really hard across the color lines. We want everything coming to the east side. To me, that's the most beautiful part of Lubbock.
Oh, it certainly is. And, I just did a film for the city about the Canyon Lakes where y'all held that breast cancer awareness walk. And the funny thing is, even though that's obviously the most beautiful part of the city, it wasn't obvious back up until about the 60s.
Right.
Because
that is correct.
According to what I understand, and it's not what I understand. The facts are, it was a dump ground, and I was talking to Mrs. Howard, and she was telling me there was actually somebody's cows on there before they started dumping on it. So it was just a completely disregarded part of Lubbock, which is how do you overlook that's the only water in the area. It's not big, but they had to augment it a little bit, but I don't understand anyway.
No, well, we understand, and we're glad that they've made the transition to get there, because it really is. When you look at that park, if you notice the weather when we were out there, it was perfect. Yeah. And then to walk the lake and see the water and everything, it's beautiful. There's no doubt about it.
It's kind of funny. I'm gonna show my age a little bit. Like I'm not that old, but I got a few years under my belt. I ain't no spraying chicken. As my grandpa would say, he don't say nothing with an I-N-G, it's an A-N-G. It's spraying. I ain't no spraying chicken. But back when I wore a younger man's pants, I remember before they had fully finished that lake over there at Dunbar Lake, and I think they had put up the what do you call it, the dam at the end, but it wasn't neat and clean like it is now. It was a little pool back there. It was kind of, and anyway, it was just a weird memory. Me and my dad out there fishing and saw something bubbling up in them pools, and we reached in there. It was a big old crawdad about that big.
Oh my goodness!
We put out of there. Anyway, the point is we've made a lot of progress over there. It looks good, and I think your event was kind of a fitting type of event to hold. It was a perfect day. There was tons of people out there. Great time.
Showed up early. Everybody, like you said, what you felt in the air, that was real. That was true community. That was, coming out, eating, drinking coffee, fellowshipping. Pastor Jimmy Moore brought us the occasion. He did the prayer, and that kind of set the stage for it. His wife is battling breast cancer. And, just looking out at the faces, and I enjoyed former councilwoman Sheila coming out, and we were literally there as a team. Every single, whether it was the first time meeting or if you had known them before, we literally represented the city as a team.
Another one of the things, we're talking about the sense of community. I don't... the role that I try to fill, you have to ask questions and do interviews and stuff like that. And that felt like it's a tender subject.
It is.
I didn't want to ask too many questions about it. But I was very surprised that even when I asked questions about it, I hated to, but I have to. And people were totally fine answering. They were brutally honest.
I tell you what, for me personally, I've never battled any of that. But my sister-in-law, my brother's wife of 40 plus years, she battled breast cancer, beat breast cancer, got a chance to ring the bell. So she's a survivor. So when we're out there, I'm out there for Barbara Manahan. That's my shout out. I'm out there for my aunt that we lost to breast cancer. It is a sensitive subject. One of my nieces is newly diagnosed, you know, and DeQuebra Johnson. And so, yeah, I don't think there's a person that was out there. I was excited to see her sisters come out and walk for her, come out and work with us, you know, in this breast cancer for the walk. Her family, she can't travel right now, but they came out to stand in her stead. It was just amazing. I don't have another word.
It was, and I hate to transition off of that subject.
Yeah.
From something that was so filled with a sense of community and so amazing to something that's not quite filled with the same sense of community. Yeah. And I'm going to play devil's advocate on this conversation a little bit. It's not really devil's advocate, but just questions from a different perspective.
Fairness
too.
To both sides.
Yeah. So apparently, and this is not the first time I'm hearing this.
Right.
So you probably know we only been back about 3 years. I grew up here. We went to the military, and me and my family traveled all around. But I guess we've been here since 2022, roughly. So as soon as I got here, matter of fact, I think before we even came back, we saw national news. Slaton was at high school, having some weird racial issues, some stuff that seemed like it should have been figured out a long time ago, but apparently may not have been.
Right.
And apparently that has popped back up.
Yeah, it has.
You kind of.
So what you're referencing is Slaton ISD with the young lady Autumn Roberson, who had been tormented, literally just harassed. She and some other kids, racial slurs. Very aggressive. I mean, things that for me, we were working on this 21 to 23. I felt like I was in 1921 because we're talking the N-word, calling children porch monkeys. There's an app that's out there right now, that makes the whipping sound. And we're talking to administrators and trying to get them to understand what is happening to our children of color. And getting no response. So fortunately, that particular situation went viral because she just had enough and grabbed the kid. Now,
she ended up popping him one time, didn't she?
Not one time.
Oh, okay.
She whipped him the way his parents should have whipped him. Yeah. She whipped him the way his parents should have whipped him. And the thing that was heartbreaking is that there was a coach on the ground in the gym that heard him call her the N-word maybe 7 or 8 times. So if you're about preventing things, why didn't you get up off the ground and go get this young man? You didn't get up off the ground until she started beating his butt. And while I don't advocate anybody hitting anybody, when you've had your enough, you've had your enough. So we did end up going all the distance with that. Her parents were on the Martin Rollins show, and then we ended up on CNN News because the NAACP was brought in, Dr. Candace Matthews. I mean, all the heavy hitters that fight and advocate against racial discrimination and bullying. We brought it to a comparable space, and I thought we were good. But I can tell you that in the last 4 months, I've interviewed 3 African-American educators that have been terminated by one principal at Slaton ISD.
I think I know one of those educators. I think that person was on the show.
Yes. Yeah. And so that's heartbreaking by itself. But then deeper than that, in one of the incidents where she terminated a lady, she said, "I'm going to get you people off my campus." And I, in the second level grievance, I asked the superintendent, "What do you think she meant by that? Can you bring her in so she can tell me what she meant by that?" And no answers. So we're headed right back to the Office of Civil Rights. We're headed right back to the Department of Justice. Just yesterday, one of the former educators and I won the case with the Texas workforce where she filed for her unemployment. And they ruled in her favor. So that's a great mark for us because now we'll wait for the outcome of the LCR report. And then we'll take it wherever we need to take it.
So the first time I spoke with it was a gentleman.
Yeah.
And Kenyon Andrews.
Kenyon Andrews.
So
Absolutely.
the first time I spoke with him, I was a little like, well, is it? I can see both sides. And the reason I was saying I can see both sides is because I haven't been in school, and neither of us have been in school in forever. But I do know how kids are.
Yep.
And I know that once you show somebody that what gets your goat, they're going to keep doing it and do it more and more. And I was wondering, well, do you think it was a case of that? And he was saying he don't think so. And then later, I still have another show with him that maybe we'll put it out now because it's kind of appropriate to jive with this. But he was saying, he gave me some more information that made me kind of, well, maybe it wasn't that.
Right.
Maybe it goes beyond that.
Right.
But I don't know what I would do in that situation. But I know if my kids were in that situation, I would, first of all, tell them, don't let anybody know that you're affecting them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That they're affecting you with what they're saying. Because once you show that weakness and that, oh, you're hurting me. Yeah. Oh, I can't. Well, of course you're going to get attacked more. That's the nature. That's human nature. That's really the nature of kids. And you carry some of them scars,
Yeah. And I mean, I agree with all of that. I agree with being able to contain and being able to move past it. I agree with that. What we're looking at in these situations, and so I can go from Slaton to Lubbock Cooper to Friendship to LISD.
Yeah.
We're looking at a pattern. There's a whole different level of hatred, and I'm talking 3rd and 4th grade. That these kids are intentional in what they're saying, and how comfortable they are to say it. And that's the issue in Slaton. That I'll just call you the N-word. And why are you mad about that? That word is in rap music.
Yeah.
I'm mad about that because you don't know what music I listen to. And I'm in here to get an education.
That was another point that I wanted to bring up. Years ago, I was stationed out in California. It's the funniest, the weirdest situation. I'm a bookish type of dude. I read a lot, love libraries. So I'm stationed out there, and I go to the library in Monterey, California, or somewhere out, Fort Ord, one of them. Yeah. And it wasn't too many people there. It was me, and it was a group of young kids. Not even high school, I don't think. Probably junior high, I guess. And the point is, I'm sitting there minding my business, and I could overhear what they was talking about, and they was calling each other the N-word.
Yeah.
The funny thing about it, it wasn't no black people in the group.
Not one.
So in other words, that is a failure of hip hop culture. That's a negative effect that hip hop culture has had on there, which is the democratization of the word nigga.
Yeah.
So everybody says it because everybody listens to hip hop.
Yeah.
And that's one of the questions I had too about this situation. Are they just saying it like that and then seeing that it gets on somebody's nerves and keep doing it? But then what I don't like about the situation is if it has been brought to the attention of the administrators that it's not a positive learning environment, then they need to be stepping up. And if they're not stepping up, then you can't help but question their motives.
Right. And that's where we are. Certainly with Slaton, because there's a billboard, a slavery billboard in Slaton that shows slaves working in the field and the master up on. So Slaton's got issues, no matter how you chop that up. But yeah, once the students bring it to the educator's attention and they're being told to ignore it, they're being told to just sit and do your lesson. No, ma'am, it's your job to stop him. It's your job to stop her. And then when the child of color has had enough and get up and slap the skin off of them, now instantly
they're in trouble.
We're in trouble.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Going back to the Robeson young lady, those parents, Mr. and Mrs. Manahan, had written so many grievances and so many complaints and so many, hey, can you guys help us? What are you going to do to protect our kid? They had done so much of that too. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And nothing had happened to that student. But the minute she put her hands on him, she's expelled.
Yeah.
She's suspended.
Yeah.
She's taking a chance on maybe not even graduating with her class.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're quick to answer that, but you have no answer for the blatant racism.
Right. The other thing that I was wondering about, and I didn't know if this was applicable to the situation or not, but it seems like it could be. It is a foundational belief today that all cultures are equal. All cultures are not equal.
No.
Hip hop culture, I'm a hip hop head, I love hip hop, but there's certain parts of that culture that, like I said, are dysfunctional.
Sure.
However, it is taught in colleges that all cultures are equal and you can't disparage people's culture and you have to respect it. Whole generations of young teachers have been indoctrinated with that belief set. So then when you see them in a situation like this and they're reluctant to intervene in what they may be perceiving as a cultural matter, well, you know, all cultures are equal. And again, I understand. Once somebody says, nah, man, this ain't culture, you need to stop that. But we've spent 20, 30, 40 years now teaching teachers that all cultures are equal, which is false.
Yeah.
So do we understand why they might be looking at it like, I don't know what to do?
This is what I've learned over the last 4 years. So, and I'm not a fan of hip hop. So let me be real clear. Sorry, Marcus, I love you, but I'm not. In hip hop music, let's go to Tupac, because Tupac is somebody that I listen to. He's talking about nigga. At Slaton ISD, Cooper ISD, we're going hard ER. We're intentional.
Yeah. I don't even buy into that hard ER versus the A stuff.
I don't either. But I'm saying where the kids are.
Oh, yeah, right.
Where the kids are.
Right.
They think if they singing, if they rapping, I've seen every culture jamming it out.
Right.
But when it's one-on-one and you're using those terms,
Yeah.
and then that follows up with porch monkey, and your family's going to go back to Africa when this person is elected. I'm telling you, it's deep. Like, it's deep in Slaton. It was deep at Cooper.
I would like to talk to some of these people. Who are the people? I don't think they would come on the show, but who are the people that are allowing this?
I think the people that are allowing it will not come on the show.
That's what I'm saying.
No, yeah. I think it would be very interesting for you, because when I sit in these meetings, I'm asking them.
Can anyone go to these meetings? Can I go?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Actually, I invite you to the next. I was
going to say, let me know when the next one is.
I will. I'll send you all the info, because we're going to stand and we're going to talk about what has happened to these educators. One young lady in particular, in April, she was given a honor accolade for doing such a great job, signed her contract for this upcoming year, and in May received an email that she was no longer needed. What transpired? Intentional.
Yeah.
And so when we've gone, and I've been to 5 meetings, 3 for this young lady and 2 for this young lady. And I'm saying to the administrators, I'm saying to the superintendent, to the assistant superintendent, do y'all not see this? This is blatant. Stevie Wonder sees this. Do you guys not see this as racism? Crickets. And then when we get the communication back, well, we agree with the determination of you being terminated. You are welcome to file a level 1, 2, 3, wherever we are at that time. And so we move to the next. It's a song and dance.
What is describe those level 1, 2, and 3 grievances? What exactly are those?
Okay, so level 1 grievance, you're saying to the district, this happened to me. Here's my proof that I didn't do what I was accused of, and I'm asking you to reconsider this.
Okay.
That's number 1. Number 2 is they've come back to you now and said they agree with the principal. Okay, so then you file a level 2. The first hearing is held with the assistant superintendent, who is a truly good guy. I wish he had more authority. I wish he was the superintendent, because we would get somewhere. I said that with my chest out, because the superintendent is intentional to pass you through these meetings and just get you out of her office. I said that. I stand by that. So the first hearing
for Slaton
is with
or for other school?
For Slaton. For Slaton. Right now, for Slaton. Then you go to level 2. That's with the superintendent. And you tell everything that happened. You give your side. You give the school side. And then she'll come back to you in writing and say, we either agree with them or we're going to rectify it. Every single time. I'm in agreement with the level 1 decision. If you're unhappy, you can go to level 3. And this is where we are with 2 of those 3. And I would love for you to be there. So now our 3rd level is our final with the district, where we will come out in droves and we'll speak to the school board. Because to this point, the school board, unless they talk, pillow talk, the school board is not aware that you got 3 former employees of color, star employees, that have been terminated in a time when we need educators the way that we do. So we will go before the school board. Each one of those ladies will speak, and then I will speak to let them know where we're going next, which is the Office of Civil Rights, the Department of Justice, and a criminal team. Well, it's criminal for me, but a team that we'll put together to take this wherever we need to take it. Again.
So the more I hear, I mean, it does. I haven't heard anybody from the other side story,
Right.
But everything I've heard on this side, it does start to seem intentional.
Reach out to them. I'd be interested to see if they talk to you or if they lawyer up. Shelley Crow, superintendent.
I smile because it's lawyer up. It's a podcast, but then again, you know,
when a former employee says they're bringing me, they bring a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. I'm an accountant. Glad about it.
Yeah.
I research. I read. I'm coming with receipts and I'm coming with facts. But I'm not an attorney. I've got a meeting in the morning at Friendship, and they postponed it so they could bring their lawyer. See, and for me, I'm old school. If I can sit down and talk to you and chop it up, and I didn't do anything wrong,
I feel like you don't need a lawyer. You're chopping it up,
we'll need
person
a
to person.
I'm coming to stand for these people. I'm not coming in like a lawyer.
Right.
But I got a team of them if we need to get there, and that's where we need to take it. But that's what I see. You know, certainly with Friendship, they're not going to hold a meeting with me without their attorney.
How did you come from being an accountant to get into this kind of position? Was it through the NAACP?
It was through the NAACP. And I've actually always advocated for people. I'm just that lady. I'm not going to you're not going to do folks wrong, and I know it. Like, that's been me my whole life. But being here in Lubbock and getting involved with the Lubbock chapter in NAACP, where we're doing several things, you know, it just ended up being something I was really interested in because we were having all kinds. I mean, racism and bullying is the biggest thing I face. But if you saw the media in the last couple of weeks, the cheerleading coach that put the kids on the hot cement and got the burns, this is public school. This is not Beirut.
I feel like, I don't know. First of all, the generation I come from, we didn't see too much of that kind of stuff. Honestly, I felt like growing up as a young man in the 90s, it seemed like we was good. Like we had got to a point where we was like, all right, let's go on and go forward together.
Let's move forward. Yeah.
But several things have changed. I got some opinions on that, but they're not germane to the discussion. It's just mysterious, and I wonder how much of this is, like I said, the stuff that they teach teachers in school. You don't have to be. You don't swallow that kind of nonsense and believe it.
No. All
cultures are not equal, and you can see that.
They're not. And what I've learned in meeting with parents from both sides, I've talked to Caucasian parents that thought it was A-okay. Like, what's the problem?
Right.
My kid has freedom of speech.
Yeah.
So what that says to me, this is what you're teaching at your house. Okay, your baby didn't come to school and get this. They got it at home.
Yeah.
And it was A-okay at home. So we've gone backwards instead of forward.
Yep.
That's because I come up in the 80s in this city and I didn't go through that. I did not go through that.
It was not my experience at all coming up in the 80s and mainly the 90s. Little kid in the 80s, but I would definitely try to show up at a meeting like that.
Yes, please.
We'll talk off air about the do's and don'ts. Can you bring cameras and all that kind of stuff? Okay. Well, there definitely does seem to be a pattern then. But then here's the other question that just occurs to me. Reading Malcolm X. Well, he said something like, when you have a city that say we don't have a racial problems because they don't hardly have any black people.
That's what that city is.
And that's what I think, I was going to say, that's what it kind of feel like, because we're about 7% of the population here in West Texas, something like, not even 8%.
Not even 8%.
But it seems like you just have a bunch of people that, for whatever reason, are thinking that we're past a certain point and they can say what we say and do it with it. And honestly, I come from the school of thought where I blame myself before I point fingers at other people.
Yeah.
So I always try to correct my behavior first. So pointing them 3 fingers back at you, the stuff that we do as black people and the stuff that we tolerate, people see it and say, oh, I guess that's cool.
That's it. That is a huge problem. Okay, that's a huge problem. If I allow you to call me something other than Queen, Phyllis, Miss Gant, Miss Phil, if I allow you to do that and I shake that off, I'm my own worst enemy.
Or if you do it yourself.
If I do it myself. And if I let him, because he's brown, do it and get away. We are our own worst enemy. And I stand by that.
This is where I'm coming from. I don't call nobody nigga too much.
I don't.
It's not a word I mess with.
That's just not how I talk. No,
I don't.
Sir.
I got family members that I have literally. I didn't hang up on them. Call me long distance. Hey, what's up, nigga? Like, say, man, I haven't talked to you in months, and that's how you call me on the phone, man. Like, come on, man. I don't.
Yeah, not acceptable.
I don't roll like that.
No, not acceptable. And when we start adamantly taking that stand, then it will flow even with our young people. So it's us. It's on us to get us where we're trying to go. And that's why I tell these students and I tell these kids and I tell the parents, day one, the first time, you don't get a pass. But you can't be saying it to your friend either.
Yeah. And I saw speaking of hip hop and the whole negative influence of some of that culture. I can't remember who it was. It was some younger rapper. And I don't do this new generation of rap.
Those are not rappers.
It's whack.
Because they're not telling us.
They're not saying nothing.
No.
How can you can't rap if I can't even understand what you're saying?
It's
and
a story.
Not saying that as an old man. You ain't saying nothing. You mumbling. Anyway, don't get me started. But there was some new rap dude, and he had called a white young lady up on stage and had her flowing, and she know all the lyrics to his songs, but she said, "Nigga." And then he turned the audience on her. What you say? Nah, fool, you called up on the stage and you said you can't set people up like that.
No, you gave
people
her a
adoring you and your lyrics and know all your songs and bought all your records. Now you gonna clown them on stage.
Yeah.
Like she done did something wrong.
No, and you knew what she was gonna say because you know what the song says.
Right.
Yeah. See, I don't tolerate any that to me is the that's the new slave master, right? Yeah, I don't tolerate that. I don't tolerate that.
Yeah, when I was a young cat, I used to admire the Nation of Islam quite a bit, and that's really Malcolm X and their protocol and their upright posture,
their honor, their respect, their discipline.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's where I'm coming from with pretty much all things. I'm no longer down with the things that don't want to be in it no more. Right. But that's a good lesson to learn. I think. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
No, their structure, their structure is a lifesaver. That you can't take that away.
Interesting. That's a whole nother. I was just thinking of something,
that's another show.
That's another show. Like where are the black men in black churches?
Yeah, where are they?
Because men are attracted to that upright discipline, that rigidity, that strength. And I wonder, then like I said, that's a whole other conversation. I got to think about that and figure out who to talk to about it.
That's real. It's a crisis. Start with the 100 Black. They can help you. Yeah.
So what's going on? That's in Slaton. And then you had something earlier today, I think, with another school.
I did.
So it's similar things, or is it similar vein?
It's identical. And that's the tragedy. That's why you know that there's an agenda, being pushed, whether it's in the homes, whether it's just student to student. I'm not sure. But there's a virus in our community. Okay. And this morning, in the morning, I'll be back at Friendship, and we're talking about the same things. We're talking about one of them where a teacher called a kid a monkey. Make me understand. Make it make sense.
I'll attempt to play devil's advocate. I do hear. So when I was in the military, I was a linguist, and we would sit. Part of our duties, I don't want to get too deep into it, is classified. and
I
all
was
that.
married. I was married to the military.
Yeah.
21 years for me.
Right.
25.
But
for
we
him.
used to sit what we call sit rack, and we were listening to certain types of transmissions, radio transmissions, stuff like that, sitting there with headphones on all day. And we called ourselves rack monkeys. That was the term.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with your color or nothing like that. You was the little dude controlling the rack.
Right.
And I hear people use the term monkey a lot, actually. In that same sense, the person
Sure.
that's making the machine work or doing whatever out there, covering all the bases, doing all the work. Do sometimes people use that phrase in this particular instance? Was it something like that, or was this malicious?
This was malicious. So again, not at all friendship, not at all Lubbock Cooper. Understanding that there was a black family that was in the Friendship District who the husband woke up the next morning and the back of his truck was filled with stuffed monkeys. So no, it's intentional. If I'm saying monkey.
And do they have we got any video of this? It's got to be video somewhere.
Yeah.
Who did it?
Yeah, there's video.
Who-
and
they-
there
so
was
they know who
actually
did
even there was actually even an arrest.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who did
because
it?
they were saying go back home. Go back home. I'm at home. I bought this house, this mortgage right here in this area.
Yeah.
But
So it was a white perpetrator?
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Interesting.
very, very. In 2020,
it's actually, it's funny.
2022.
It's not funny, but it's funny. It's like,
What?
really? You putting monkeys in somebody's truck?
in some,
on now.
you're on somebody's property,
Right. That's,
in this day and
that's,
age.
I'm a big proponent.
Because
of that.
on my property,
Don't mess around and get
EMS is coming to get you.
Yeah.
off my
I was gonna
carport.
say, don't come over here.
Don't come over here playing.
No.
But no, it's intentional. And even if it was a joke, right?
Mm-hmm.
With all of Lubbock, Texas, hit CNN News.
Mm-hmm.
Myself and other NAACP reps, families, parents, students were sitting being interviewed by NBC.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, knowing that I'm in this city, it's that big, everybody knows it. That's the last thing I would do. Even if I'm joking with a student, I'm not going to call you a monkey.
Right.
So
And
yeah,
have
they
to
don't
say,
get a pass.
I can't recall any
Yeah.
outside that military situation I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I can't think of. I've never said like
No.
monkey. I don't.
And why
It's not
would
a
you?
word. Yeah, it's not a word that you.
And then
for
to
any
add to
reason,
that,
it's you-
porch monkey.
Yeah, porch monkey.
Now
Yeah.
that one rings from Slaton
Yeah.
to Cooper to Lubbock, Lubbock ISD. You know, there is something going on in homes that makes a student. I think my youngest claim was a third grader. You're a monkey. Trump's gonna win the election. Send you back to Africa. You and your mom and that was a third grader.
Well, that's ignorance.
Times 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm just saying somewhere
Yeah.
this is being
Yeah.
communicated.
Yeah. The closest I ever came, something like that, 83, I think it was. I was about third grade or second grade or something like that. And down in Bryan, Texas, that's where
Yeah.
my family from.
Oh, okay.
And I was what, I don't know, however you are, what were you, about 7, 8, I don't know, in third grade. I was this tall, I don't know how old you are.
Little.
And a little white girl came up to me. We went to the good pool, which was the regular pool, you know what I'm saying? And we was the only black kids there. We were a minority there, of course. And a little white girl came up to me and was like, "Go back to Sue Haswell, you nigger." But the funniest thing,
What is Sue Haswell? Wait.
so Sue Haswell is the black pool,
Okay.
which is not really a pool. It's just a concrete ring about that high with some water in it.
Wow.
But
Okay.
the real pool was, where I went. But looking back on that, well, at the time, it didn't hurt or anything. I just looked at it, I was like, I could punch you in your eye, man. You're this tall. How you coming up to me
you
like,
didn't, yeah.
like, how you coming up to me?
Yeah.
And then looking back on it, it's funny because I was like, I didn't know what to do. It was like, well,
So real. Yeah.
okay, well, anyway, I'm still swimming. So there.
I'm staying right here. Yeah.
But that's probably the only example. Like I said, that was in '83. By the time we got up into the '90s, I never saw
it just
anything
wasn't,
like that.
because
Wasn't
my
like that.
boys came through school in the 90s,
Yeah.
but we weren't here, of course.
Right.
But
Where were y'all?
we were in Denton.
Okay.
Yeah, we were in Denton. They went to
Outside of
school
Dallas, not too far.
Right, 33 miles north of
Yeah,
Dallas.
yeah.
That's where my boys went to school, and we just didn't run into this. And then coming back to Lubbock, I was just blown away. But here's another thing, though, too. We were at Dunbar and Estacado. So our educators looked like us, went to church with us. That's another show. But I'm just saying, I rarely get a discrimination complaint from Estacado. We got coaches over there that's going to talk to them kids. They're going to get it straight.
Is that a part of it? Maybe it's the
That's
fact
major.
that you have more black people represented in the school that can help set the tone for
Sure.
it.
That is critical. Yeah. And I've used that because now we're doing these formats, myself and Paige Dugans Clay, where we're trying to be preventive. You know, let's get some social training. If you've never been around black people, I mean, I don't know what part of a rock you've lived under, because we're here.
I was reading something. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I was reading something the other day that it made me think. In this country, there are tons of white people who may not have ever met. When I went to the military, in fact, in '97, we had a cat in there. I can't remember his name, but he was blown away by black people. He was like, "Nah, I've never actually met a black person in real life." He was cool. It wasn't no problem.
Just hadn't ever dealt with it.
I saw him looking at sometimes like darker skinned people, and he's like, he's told us straight up. He said, one of the things that blows me away is your hands are dark on one side but light on the other side. He said, I didn't know it was gonna be like that.
Wow.
So the point I'm making is, as a minority in this particular country, I think globally where brown people are a majority,
Right.
But in this country, there is quite a bit of an opportunity for people to have grown up in places where they don't see. So if you're from Iowa,
right,
or Wisconsin, someplace like that,
yeah,
it's quite possible you might never have actually seen a real black person in real life till you get to college or something like that.
Even some parts of Oklahoma.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that's a real thing. But at the end of the day, we're here.
Now I was gonna say all black people have seen white people.
Where you gonna live?
It don't go.
Where you gonna live?
Yeah, it don't go the other way.
Where you gonna live? No, you're right about that, and I give some grace to that. But this is blatant. This, I mean, literally, when you have a principal tell a young man, ignore it, it's just a word. One of the things I said when I spoke at the Cooper School Board meeting before filing the lawsuit, I said we cannot expect our students. Because this was breaking these children. Do you hear me? I'm talking some of the parents I still talk to this day that have had to have extensive counseling, or they've had to rebuild and restore what happened because these babies were getting this treatment and then reporting it. Because that's what we tell our kids as parents, right? And they're saying, go back to your seat. It's not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal.
That's where I'm starting to get a little frustrated with this situation. Adults are supposed to know. You tell people to report stuff all the time. If you see something, say something. It's part of the culture.
Doesn't that go with it?
And then you say something and then nobody does anything.
No.
That right there is not acceptable.
And it was breaking them. I'm talking about children to this day that I reach out to their parents and they're having other issues because of that. But the principal was saying, just go back to class. Ignore them. It's just a word. So when I spoke to their school board, I took 2 steps in the direction of the superintendent. You should have seen Lubbock PD. And I said, I'm going to murder you. It's not just a word. Yeah. Because what I just said, it's just a word. But Lubbock PD, because of what they do for a living.
That's a threat, actually.
That's a threat.
That's different. I think there's a difference there. Saying nigga is different from saying I'm going to kill you.
It's really not. Because too many of our ancestors swung from trees. Okay? So on the plantation, Zachary calls Hakeem nigga. And they get into an altercation. And he gets hung. It's as offensive and as illegal. Texas calls it a hate crime.
Saying the word nigga?
Saying the word nigga. Saying the word nigga is a form of bullying.
Yeah, well, that's clear.
So that's a hate crime. We have a young lady in South Texas where, I don't know if you saw the article that we did in El Editor. This young lady was a phenomenal volleyball player. And some students, Caucasian students at her school, cut her face off of her volleyball picture and put Emmett Till's face on her picture.
That's a threat.
Put her picture in the casket, cut Emmett Till's face out, and put her face on his body.
Where was this?
In South Texas.
Okay. I haven't heard of
And
that.
when we went to Austin to talk about racial issues in Lubbock, because the same group, El Wenger group that were representing us was representing this young lady, we all met up. I'll send you some photos. But this kid was a star volleyball player. You can't get her to play a sport now. And her father's a police officer. So it's as criminal as making a threat to someone. And that's why it's so important that the adults in the situation take it seriously.
So what excuse are they giving these adults, these administrators? What are they saying why they're not responding the way they should?
They're saying you need to ignore it.
But why? Why are they saying that?
Because it's not a big deal. With a straight face. And I'm saying it casual like that because I was like you. I got in my car going, they did not say that. Anthony Yarbrough, the cook, you remember him? Yeah. Okay, his son, AJ. AJ did everything he could to avoid some kids. Calling the names. He got his headset on because his daddy's taught him. They're from Compton, California. His father has taught him what to do and what not to do. He's standing waiting for his bus, and he gets jumped. But because he's from Compton, he beat the snot out of 4 of them boys. Vice principal is standing right here. But when he beat him up, now he's going to DAEP. But while they're tormenting him and calling him names before a lick is thrown, you're standing right here with a radio.
What do you think is the solution to some of this stuff?
The solution to it is to get educators that care about all kids, not just kids that look like them. Going back to the schools we came up through. Okay? That's one issue. The second issue is bringing it back home and teaching your kid at home what is acceptable and unacceptable behavior. That's critical because
that right there is that's where we're going to have some problems because from what I see, there is a on the part of many parents.
Yeah,
there's a huge dereliction of duty in the way that we're raising our own kids.
Absolutely.
That's the easiest thing to fix right there. You can't fix other people. You can fix
your house.
Household.
Yes, sir. Over here, we wear blue. Over there, it's that simple. It's that simple, but we're not engaging like that. We got all the games and all the computer stuff and all the, dressed to the nines and that whole deal. Yeah. We're not engaged right there.
Yeah. The other day, I was up at East Lubbock Art House. They had a concert. It was actually pretty dope. The guys that were rapping, I guess I don't know what I don't know what ages are anymore. I'm looking at the kids.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
I don't know, high school maybe, young like 9th grade, maybe 8th grade. Anyway, point is they had some pretty decent talent. They had made a lot of their own music. It was all original stuff.
Awesome.
But man, the way they was throwing the N and B word, and wasn't even black.
No, you're not serious.
But and that's not a knock on East Lubbock Art House. It was a great event. I'm glad they did it. I went and had a good time. But I was like, dang, man. However, that's that hip hop, and that's that what the things that we allow in our culture. And it was funky. It sounded good. But I'm at the point now where my kids are grown, and I still feel shame in the car listening to old stuff I used to listen to, NWA and stuff.
Got to turn this off. Yeah.
My kids grown.
Yeah. So
they much older than these kids, you know what I'm saying? But it's part of the culture. That's a culture I'm not gonna accept. So and I love the art house, love Danielle, but I would have left because that's what I do. Like when the whole vibe changes, that's my exit. So it wasn't but that's the thing, it wasn't no negative vibe at all.
No, it's not negative. I'm saying what is banging, but what you're saying, because I'm literal.
Yeah.
And so I hear that, and I'm out. I'm out, whether I'm at a relative's house, whatever, wherever. It doesn't matter. It's not conducive to how I live.
I don't roll like that.
Not at all.
I don't roll like
Not
that.
at all. And we taught our boys, like that. I will give my ex-husband credit till the day we die. When he taught them about sagging pants and what that was and where that came from and that whole deal.
Yeah.
And how you talk to and address women. How he was a beast with it. He was military. So I don't buy into it. it's not acceptable at my house.
Right.
In my
smiling
setting.
simply because when I did the video for that show, you know, they the videos nowadays, they'll automatically put on captions.
Sure.
And
Put
when
the warning out there.
When they was saying it, I was there, and it was because they, like I said, they be slurring and. What's he saying?
What is he saying?
But the captions are so good nowadays; they catching it. So I'm looking at the captions on the video, like, yeah, he sure did say that.
That's exactly.
And I was like, dang, man, I gotta turn the captions off on this video. It's good music; it lets you actually know what he's saying. You know, like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
I don't
see, and I demand to know because I've got a 14-year-old grandson at DeSoto High School, and that's in up near Dallas as well.
Gotcha,
so you know where Oak Cliff is.
Yeah.
If you keep going, you're gonna hit Duncanville, DeSoto, Red Oak, those areas. Yeah, and so it's kind of a culture issue for him because his other school was predominantly white, and he's like, man, Grammy, there's a lot of black kids at this school, and they cuss a lot, and they, you know, he's ninth grade, so it's a different culture, but we are responsible for what culture they adapt to.
When my daughter went to college, she went to Morgan State up there in Baltimore.
Baltimore.
And I was just thinking, when I went to college, it was a culture shock too. Being from Lubbock, I went to Wiley College.
Yeah.
And
oh wow, that's
it
awesome.
was cool to see. I never saw that many black people in one place in my life. I was like, everybody here black. Wow. Well, when she went to Morgan State, it was the same culture shock, but in a negative sense. She was like, man, these people are. She said, man, Dad, they're so ghetto. She said, I can't understand half of what they're saying. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
For real? She's like, I don't even know what they're saying to me sometimes. Like,
isn't that something?
Dang.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Anyway.
I remember wanting to go to Prairie View, and my mother said, hillbilly, hell no. So I ended up at North Texas State.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I want to, because a lot of people from class of 81 went to Prairie View. I know. I know it, but no, she was not in agreement.
Interesting. So there was one other thing that we wanted to kind of, I'm terrible with transitions, so we might as well just
That's okay. You good.
Jump on to the next
Roll with it.
Real quick too. You're a part of the Focus on the Future with the LISD's program, Focus on the Future program, and I had a chance to glance over a little bit of today. And one of the things that caught my, please explain it to us, but I'll just say one of the things that caught my eye, it seemed to be alluding to the fact that there's going to have to be some closures and consolidations.
Right.
So talk to us a little bit about
So I won't dare attempt to present myself as an expert. What I do see is just that. Consolidating schools because of low enrollment.
Yep.
And, these outskirt ISDs have not helped LISD at all. But what I would be doing if people
are fleeing to those,
yes, indeed,
those suburbs.
Yes.
To Cooper,
to Friendship. And then calling me because they're being discriminated against. But yes. Yeah. But if I was a parent that had a kid, so on that level, I don't have any true skin in the game, except that I'm a tax-paying citizen. Right. A couple of things that I see right off the bat. So we didn't get any state funding for our schools, so they're battling a deficit. They're battling not having the funding that's necessary to run the ISD. However, I'm old school, and I don't apologize for the way I feel about it. Before I can give any credit to that, I want to know, did we mismanage any funding we had? I've talked to probably 17 or 20 school teachers that are making decisions. Can I continue to teach because the health insurance is so expensive? Wow. So I think we need to dial it back. I think parents need to wake up, get off the couch, turn off Oprah, get engaged, see what's going on. Did you give an address for this school, but you took your baby to that school across town? We got to come to the table with some transparency. Yeah. So I see a lot of issues or a lot of topics with that direction. But with low enrollment, we're closing our own schools. If we're being a buck. We're closing our own schools because we're choosing to take our kids to other school districts. Oh, yeah. But then let's dial that back. Why? What prompted an Estacado parent to send their kid to Coronado, Monterey, or Cooper? What what created it. I don't want to just dive in and close schools and
Parents
consolidate.
do things for reasons.
They do things for a reason.
Everybody has a reason. It's
Yes,
a good
indeed.
reason.
Yes, indeed. Were you trying to get a certain outcome with your kid and they wouldn't listen? You know what?
Felt like it wasn't being taught or right.
Exactly.
You know, it could
exactly.
be many things, right?
Yeah, because when you look at what we're seeing daily, there's a lot going on that's bigger than just consolidating schools. And then what are you doing to those families? I know coming up for myself, I went to Parkway Elementary. I could walk. You leave Baylor, you go down Cornell, and you're at school. And then I went to Alderson, and then I went to Estacado. And everybody that I went to school with, all of my class of 81, started back with me at Parkway.
Wow.
So now if I'm consolidating schools, what's that actually going to look like?
Yeah.
How are we going to address each kid from each culture? So it's major, and I think parents need to ask the necessary questions. Parents need to demand town hall meetings with their trustees. Parents need to parent.
Yeah.
Get up and get in the game right now before they start demolition.
So it's just a matter of, because that's what it, when I was reading online, that's what they said it was. They said it was
Sure.
We do not have the students to get the funding. So you saying we missed out on a round of funding?
I think that the state didn't make it available.
Right.
I really do believe that. I say that
Because of student enrollment, low student enrollment.
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
One thing sets the stage for the other. You know, but we can't just get mad about consolidating schools. We got to dial it back and see what created what.
Right.
You know, because I do feel like there was some mishandling of funding.
Right.
I do feel like parents have shuffled their kids all around. You know, fake addresses, the whole night. I mean, we gotta come to the table and be real.
Yeah.
Okay, so what created this season right here? But then have we looked at everything? Is this the only fix? And as I understand it, we got 7 more meetings to go. Okay. And I will be in attendance at those meetings.
Where are those meetings held? At
Central, Central office.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's an invite only. Yeah.
Well, it looked like they had a pretty good list of people, though. It was, 100 and something people on that list?
It was a lot. I think like 105.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were not initially invited. No shade on LISD, but we weren't. I had about 7 to 9 parents call me and ask me, what kind of meeting is this? What kind of group is this? I had no clue, honestly. Had just rolled back into town from El Paso. And so I sent an email to Dr. Rollo to say, this is what people are saying. You know, what can you tell us? Can we be invited? And they immediately invited myself and Milton Lee, which is the president of the NAACP.
I see.
Yeah.
Is that the gentleman who spoke at the police department the other day?
Yes.
What's his name? Milton Lee?
Milton Lee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
He formerly worked for the post office forever and ever. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But he's our president. And then, you know, Dr. Love. Dr. Love's one of the VPs. And I think that's all. Yeah.
Okay. So I know y'all are early in the meeting process.
Yeah, this is our number one. Our second meeting is coming up on the 29th, October 29th.
I don't know if you can even speak to it out of school, as they say, but what were some of the concerns expressed at the first meeting, and are people grasping what's going on? Was there any?
I honestly, it was my first meeting, but I got the sense that the people in that room had met way before this meeting. Okay, I did, because there wasn't any kickback.
Yeah, they had a course of action.
Indeed,
on
a detail.
Pages.
And it had been the meeting before the meeting, so those discussions had already taken place.
I see. It even says on the website, one of the frequently asked questions, it said, "I get the feeling some of these are a done deal already." Something to that effect. And when I glanced over it, it was they really didn't dispel that. They really didn't say like, "No, it's not a done deal." It just said, "Yes, some meetings." Blah blah blah. But I was like, so you didn't really answer the question.
Right.
If people first of all, are people feeling like it's a done deal?
I walked out of there feeling like it. You know, I mean, I don't know. There wasn't any discussion, except they said they wanted our feedback. They want to know, you know, it's going to take all of us to get this before the board and to get it passed. But I've got a lot of experience with Lubbock and Lubbock ISD. And it's not all good experience. Like, what we're thinking we're voting on has already been decided.
Yeah.
You go back to the law program. If I'm angry about that. Because that was an excellent program at Estacado. Tony Chavez.
Yeah.
And that program just went away.
Huh. So we had him on the show about a year ago, I guess. But I couldn't. That was baffling, too. I'm like, well, why would you do that?
And moved it to the ATC and left a phenomenal educator completely out of the plan.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Right.
We cannot just discard people like they don't matter.
Right. Especially ones that's building successful programs. And
this guy took kids that were not even vested. They didn't care much about education and turned them into students that wanted to be law enforcement.
Wow.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's offered at the ATC.
Yeah.
But why would I jump in the car? Let's walk it out. Burger King is on the corner. But they're going to shut Burger King down and move it across town. I can walk right there.
Make it more difficult.
Make it more for some kids that are already facing adversity. Yeah.
I think that right there, in and of itself, we ran up against the time limit. I'd like to keep these about an hour. I think we've been doing it. We have to have you back soon.
No worries.
But I think that's part of it, is that people make decisions based on their circumstances without taking into context, the wider context. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said it that way, because looking at the schools that are on the projected plan to combine, you're going to hear some strong parent kickback.
Because, I mean, that's the only way I can make sense of this situation. You must be looking at, okay, on the page right here, we got X amount of millions and this, and we can save this right here. Okay, let's do that. But are you considering that people don't have transportation?
They don't have transportation. What about the mother that works from home, that walks her kids to school every day?
Yeah.
And now they're going to be sent across town on a bus.
Right.
I mean, I'm a hands-on mom, and my baby boy's 34. Right?
Yeah.
And so you just don't, do you want to make that change?
Yeah.
And put your third grader on a bus to go across town? So I think we'll see quite a bit of kickback. But again, I hope parents will get up and get engaged.
That's the key right there.
You got to have skin in the game. And you got to be the one speaking up before they start demolition.
Right.
Yeah. That's critical.
Can't be mad out there protesting while they knocking it down.
No, sir. There's a word for that. You could either be put in a hard hat or taken to jail, because at that point it's too late. But I do think we have a time, and I think that if it's packaged properly, the district will listen. But if I had a kid in the game, I'd be taking a whole different approach, and I would deal with other things that I saw in that report.
Like what?
Real quick, Park Hill is a company that's partnering with this. Well, that's Dr. Rollo's husband's company. That's a conflict of interest where I'm from.
So in the Air Force, they told us to avoid even the appearance of impropriety.
And the good old fashioned Bible that I read says to avoid the very appearance. Let's be upfront and put all the cards on the table. If you're out of money, you're out of money.
Right.
No shade. But tell me what happened to the money you did have. So I got other questions. And if I had a kid on these campuses, you'd see a different approach.
That almost sounds like a roadmap or a suggestion of where to go. I'm just saying.
That is what that is. Yes, sir. That is exactly what it is.
All right, Mrs. Gant, I really appreciate you coming on the show.
I'm glad
we finally
Thank
got
you.
you on here.
Me too.
And, well, we're going to have you back about 10 times.
I can come.
Because I don't know much about you, but I've heard that your family goes back has pretty deep roots in Lubbock.
My father was the only black bondsman in this city, 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah. You go to jail, we got you out. Gant's bonding company.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of stuff
of
ground to cover.
Yes, indeed.
Well, LBK, I hope y'all found this as interesting as I did. Mrs. Gant, again, thank you for coming on the show. Hit me up in these comments down here if y'all have any input on this racism, apparent racism, this monkey stuff and nigga stuff. I mean,
And if you're going through it, hit us up.
Hit me up in the comments if you would like to come on the show and discuss it. Let me know. We like to elevate the conversation in the community. That's one of our mission statement goals. So if you want to bring some interesting conversation, we'd love to have you.
Yes.
Every time I talk to somebody about it, I just end up perplexed. I hate to leave it here because there's so much more to say, but that's why we have to have you back.
Yes, I'll come back.
All right, y'all. LBK, this is the Focus LBK Show. I'm Robert Jenkins signing off. We'll say peace.